I think I was in such a weird position where I made my first million when I was 18. And when you make your first million when you're 18, and you're also like, I grew up so quick in so many senses of my life. So like, even when it came to women, when it came to money, when it came to all these things, I grew up so quick, and it gave me this perspective that, like, for me at least, apart from work and challenge, like, what's left? Like, I have so many, listen, I even have friends of mine that have $300 million in the bank, and they're in their late 20s, and they've done very well in certain businesses. And I have to check in on them, because sometimes they're a genuine suicide risk, because they have all of this money at a young age, and they don't know what the fuck to do. Yeah. They're lost. They're genuinely lost. They have no purpose in their life. And when I don't say it lightly when I say I think that they are a genuine suicide risk. So I have to constantly check in on them, make sure they're doing okay. And that's a person who has the dream. So I think, there's nothing wrong with getting to a point financially where you're happy. And I always try to make it clear to people that I'm at a very, and for the last couple of years, I'm at a very interesting point in my life where I take home personally tens of millions of dollars a year. That's not a good life. My happiest life was when I was between the ages of 19 and 20, probably those 2 years. I was doing a couple $1 million a year, profit, take home, best quality of life by far.
Less stress, less responsibility.
Less stress, less responsibility. But it's, people always say, oh, I don't do it for the money. But it's like, you get to a certain point where you've just made so much money that you have to ask yourself, why does this person keep doing this? It's quite clearly not for the money, because they're good. And I think I would just be bored if I...
Yeah, well, that's what sets you apart from everyone else. I mean, if an 18-year-old has got to the point where they've made a mill, like, they're going to go wild. And maybe that'll be it. They're happy. They just want to go party for a couple of years, because, you can certainly have a good time at that age with $1 million. But I
still did, by the way. Make that very clear. And I still do. I have a lot of fun.
Yeah. But I feel like you do it. You do the work. Once you've done what you need to do, you take a little break, enjoy yourself, and you get back to it straight away.
100%. And I think as I said, the thing that sets me apart is some people think this is bad, but I'm always paranoid. I always think what could go wrong. And for a quality of life perspective, that's not a good way to live.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What are you more paranoid about? Becoming irrelevant on social media, and your YouTube views just
couldn't give less of a shit,
or income dropping drastically?
It's paranoid in a different way. What I mean by paranoid in a different way, when it comes to the social media stuff, I'm gonna be honest, I literally don't give a shit. Like, I was making content on YouTube for half a decade before anyone even watched it. Like, so quite clearly, I really don't care. It's not that, and I'll be honest, it's something I've toyed with a lot. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on social media, if I'm going to be honest. I think especially in the last half a year, it's something I've really mulled over. And for me, a life out of social media is much better. People need to get that through their head, that a life outside of social media, everything in your life becomes very complicated with social media. And I've also gotten to a point in life where I have I was 21 when I really never needed to work again ever in my life. I had 10 million to my name personally at the age of 21 after tax. And at that point, you're good. Like, I'll be honest, once you have 10, maybe you can push for 25, but like, once you got 10, like, you really you're fine, you're good. So it's not so much paranoid in that sense, because I don't need any more income for the rest of my life. And if the social media side went down, I would kind of love that, because then I can focus on my companies, what I've been invested in, and stuff like that. And when you have a certain track record, you don't need social media. Like, in order to...
If you, let's say, for example, your social media vanished, how much would the revenue from the other companies and businesses be affected?
Well, some companies would be affected more than others, but also some companies' revenues would go up substantially more, because I can focus on it. Because I have a lot of companies that social media doesn't affect. Social media has no bearing on the performance of that company. And the thing is, I was saying this to my friend the other day. We were talking about some athletes, and one athlete is very active on social media and the other athlete is not. And, my friend was saying that I know this person will become a world champion. And I said, I'm telling you this for a fact right now. For a fact, this person will never become world champion, because you can't be a social media
distraction.
You can't be a fucking little monkey social media superstar and still do this.
Yeah.